So anyway, welcome to the May meeting of the Premiere Pro User Group. Thanks for everybody who's here so far, and once everybody else shows up, since the little scheduling snafu on my end about the time. But yeah, so a couple of announcements to make before we get started. Um, for those of you local to San Diego, we will have a meeting or a screening next Wednesday of the documentary. Her name was Moviola. If you live local and you want to go, it's normally it's $10 to go to the screening, but we have a code where San Diego Premiere Pro user group members can't go for free. So let me know if you want that code and you want to go, and I will get it to you. But yeah, the screening will be at the Hazard Center Theater at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. Is the screening. 6 o'clock is when doors open for like social hour and stuff like that. The meeting from last month, where Adobe came down and presented in person. I'm still editing that, and that should be posted up to our YouTube channel probably next week. So if you want to see that presentation from Adobe, come back, check out the YouTube channel next week, and it should be there.
What's your YouTube channel?
YouTube channel, just go to YouTube and search for San Diego Premiere Pro User Group, and all of our past meetings should be there. Yeah, if you subscribe, you can go back and look at all the meetings that we've had over the last 5 years that we've recorded and posted there. So this month, so yeah, I'm going to go ahead and mute everyone's mics while we get ready to do the presentation here. I'll have Chris start to get ready here. So I am very happy to have Chris Grubisa with us this month. He is, other than being just a cool guy that I like to hang out with, one of the most creative folks that I know, and does work in a different area than I think a lot of us work in. And so I wanted him to join to talk about his work, talk about the stuff that he does, and just, he works with some pretty big brands, doing really amazing stuff. And so, I kind of wanted to get his take on things and see how he comes at projects and get just kind of hear about his workflow and what he does. And so, you know, without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Chris, and Chris, tell us.
How's it going? Hey, everybody. I'm going to share
Hey,
this.
hey.
If I share this screen, is it Premiere Pro or the whole window? Okay, so this is me. I am a father, husband, entrepreneur, video strategist, basically video creator. I've been doing it since the fourth grade. Media found me, and it just kind of like flourished from watching skateboarding videos back in the day. And that kind of like drew me in. It was probably motion, holding cameras, moving, all that framing things up, high action. So I guess, yeah, all that came from, skateboarding is a huge anchor into basically everything into what I do today. It's like culture, music, fashion. A lot of these anchors and cues are all into the media space. And then stemming from that, with all the work that I've been doing over the years, it branched into a lot of branding stuff. So, with this solo pursuit of skateboarding, this entrepreneurial thing came through with it. So, basically, we've been leading these companies for 17, 18 years now professionally, alongside my wife as well. A couple of, 2 weeks out of the gate, out of college, film school, I got multiple job offers, and I was like, you know what? I could probably do this on my own. And then ever since then, we started this company called Chrilleks. We put Chris, my name, and Alex, my wife's name, together to make Chrilleks. And basically, Chrilleks it's a full service creative partner. So it was production company turned agency. And this is everything from photo to video campaigns, social media. The boom kind of met us right at the perfect point in our careers. And yeah, we've been producing work with amazing leaders in their spaces, from cosmetics to lifestyle, food, beverage, you name it. And then I'll scroll down for you guys so you can see it all. This is commercials. This is, from podcasts to little tidbits and social bites, internal videos like galore type feel. The other day I was thinking, I was like, it'd be funny to know how many videos I've actually touched in my time because it's been a lot. This is, yeah, just adjacent to these brands. It could be B2B, it could be very close relationships. So from athletes to you name it. In the last 5 years, Let's Cook was birthed because the editing space, for me, it really just came into like a perspective for the fathers in this group. As a parent, life came into such clarity. And I really took stock in my life. And, the pandemic and everything happened as well right at that time. And I was like, what am I after, et cetera? Like I took really good focus in terms of what I'm doing with my career and what, media is. And all of that came down to the editing. It's all the puzzle pieces. It's all the ingredients because this company that we lead is called Let's Cook. So it's a collaborative play on food. I love cooking. On my off time, it's a hobby of mine as well. And it's very therapeutic. It's something that's non-digital. We can enjoy it together, very community driven. There's a lot of like tie-ins to it. So if you have all the ingredients, with all the filming, you assemble the ingredients to make a masterful meal type feel. So Let's Cook Editing is it's a full service video editing service. We partner with everybody from creators, brands, agencies, podcasters, from short form, long form, again, podcasts to every video. I'll drop down here for the menu, docu-story, event recaps, you name it type feel. So Let's Cook can either pair well with Chrilleks or it can be on its own separate kind of journey as well. So that's kind of, that's my wrap up in a nutshell.
Quick question, how do these brands find you? Like what was your first big job and now it's because you work with some really big brands there. How did all these people find you to work with you and
Thank you. Yeah. Basically, it started. My wife and I actually started in wedding videography, and I guess we did photos too. It was always a mix of everything, kind of just get in there and package it. And then we just started showing up. That's basically it. Curiosity, and then one person gives you a little bit of a little bit of slack, an opportunity, if you will. You show your worth, and then you just keep showing up. And the other thing is we started, I'm Canadian, so I started in Toronto, and I always, thought, still do to this day, that Hollywood is, untouchable in the dream and all that stuff too. So in the whole time we've been doing this, we've expanded 2 companies in 2 different countries and all the other stuff too. So how did I find Los Angeles? Is the same. Instead of local events back in, my neighborhoods where I grew up, to popping into LA on airplanes and then fully moving over here and just building a business and scaling that way just by showing up. Curiosity.
so I mean it was just being in the right place at the right time kind of thing
And consistently, yeah, that's basically it. Yeah. It's, to be honest with you, we have I have try to find this balance between head thinking and heart thinking. And we have this beautiful business plan. But if you look back on the business plan, there's points that check marks that you check points that you hit. And I want to keep hitting all the check marks, but it doesn't work that way. So the other big thing that I live by is a lot of words. I don't have much on the wall behind me, but there's words all over my life, and I lead by these sentences and basically, or sayings and whatnot. It's birds of a feather flock together. We all, I'm sure, know it. So as soon as you start building a reputation in one area and leading with curiosity, it just starts to gain momentum, and then you times that by overnight success, if you will. It's been like a minute. I'm pushing almost like a 2 decades almost of doing this. So you kind of can walk the walk and talk the talk eventually, right? So
yeah.
that's kind of the best way to put it. In whatever conversation, it doesn't have to be, high scale Hollywood either or anything. It's just like-minded people find each other, like us today. It's great people find each other.
And just to sort of throw in for people, so I see Chris, and Chris and I see each other probably like once or twice a year at different things. And
Yeah.
I always look forward to seeing Chris, partly just because of who he is. And I think he's just an awesome guy.
You
but
guys
he
do.
always has little, and I don't have one here, but I have one over on my whiteboard above my desk. He gives all of us these little black, you talked about having sentences and words all around you.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah, we always have, he gives us stuff like that. And I love seeing Chris because the first thing he usually whips out of his little satchel is like, "Hey, I got stickers," and it's like, dude, hand them over because they're always going to be these little catchy phrases. And I do have, I don't think I can reach it now, but I have one that you gave me. Oh no, yeah, trust your editor is above my screen. So whenever anybody comes in here, that's the thing that they see. And I've got one downstairs that's about vision, and yeah, I love the fact that you have all that stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, it's something that these are fresh off the board. Trust me, it'll make sense in the edit because every time I film, everyone's like, "This is kind of weird," and it's like, don't worry, it's going to come together in the edit. Um, and then with the, I think to just kind of have this because it's here in my head and my thought is the editing is the most powerful thing and it all comes together, right? Like I don't want to preach too much on that too because I was heavy into the editing over the last like 3 years, and now I kind of realize all my expertise of capturing as well help. And so if in the editing space you're not only creating and packaging something but you can distribute it to all these different like channels, let's say social media, or if it's a teaser for a long form movie or a feature film or whatnot, you have to promote something, right?
Yeah.
So it's basically like it's a strategy. Like what can we do to put these pieces, these ingredients together to make this a winning success to get the people in the seat? So editing is very like it's very important. We all know this. I don't know why I'm saying it like
Well,
it's not, but yeah.
but I mean, so one thing that I've noticed just in my career and in working with the clients that I have is that, it went from just, hey, we need a video to go on our YouTube channel to we now need a video for YouTube, and then we need a 30-second version for Instagram. We need a 60-second version that's 4x5 or 1x1 for LinkedIn,
Yeah.
and we need all these social versions. How, and I'll be honest, like, being a little bit older and coming up the way that I came up, and for a lot of people here, it's like, we just did one version and that was it. It was 16 by 9 and that's what you get. And I'm having to adapt to create these multiple versions that need to be essentially for different audiences.
Yeah.
And how do you navigate that when you've got to create multiple versions for multiple social media outlets? Like, what is your thinking that goes into that for, okay, we got to do this for social, we got to do this for YouTube, we got to, whatever, can you kind of
It's a
talk about
lot.
that a little bit?
Yeah, it's a lot. I think the anchor to that is always look forward no matter how difficult it is. And I'm still doing that today. And I love this AI thing, like era that we're in, chapter, let's say, because it's going to be around, it's going to be here. It's never going to leave. Let's, let's go with that, I guess. Like it's not
Yeah.
leaving, right? It is now the base. And it's like that innovation always was there in my heart, in my gut and intuition, I guess. So I basically, Eric, what you just shared is like we did probably 2 years of our Chrilleks company of just 9 by 16. See, no, 16 by 9. See, I've already scrubbed it out of my head. That's bad. It's 1920 by 1080, and then it's the other way, right?
Yes.
So we did 2 years of probably horizontal 16 by 9 videos. And then all of a sudden, social media started to come through. And then that's when the media space just started to blow up. So that initial, if social media didn't meet me so early in my career, I probably would have an issue with that. But I thankfully just got in the cuff of the end of like film, because we had a 4-year program at a film school. And the first year we were on Steenbacks, Steam or Steenbacks.
Stein, or I was going to say Steinbeck, but that's the author. Steinbeck, yeah.
So we were on these physically cutting film, and then by the fourth year we were shooting on the Red One.
Oh,
So it
okay.
was like this transition was always. I'm glad that I met that at that point, at that intersection. But um, yeah, and it's kind of the same as like pre-internet and no internet, or now internet, right? And then
Yeah.
pre-AI and now AI. So and then the whole thing is it's been great for the business side of things because you're like, great, one client can produce 50 times more videos. But that learning curve is just it's getting better with all the softwares now.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
it was
I
a lot at first.
I'm sort of like you in that I came up learning to cut film. I mean, I
Yes,
actually
whenever
have a
you
moviola downstairs that I didn't learn on that one, but I used to use one of those in film school. And so, yeah, I got used to, cutting on film and having that tangible thing you could have in your hands. Just that, then projecting it and just that and I remember the stress of like not wanting to ruin the film and not screw anything up or not lose a frame or whatever. And it's like when I got to nonlinear, we made that transition. It was such a, oh my gosh, I'm so happy that we have this now because it was such, but then it opened up all these possibilities of ways to do things and that freedom was almost a little intimidating. Like, oh wow, well, let's just, but it was great because we could just try this and watch it and
did
it
you
didn't
yeah.
work. Then, oh well, we just go back and undo and start over again. And yeah, now with AI, it's kind of like, yeah, we're on the cusp of another kind of revolutionary moment. I mean, real quick, and I don't want this to turn into a whole AI things, but I am curious to know how do you feel about the AI tools that are coming down, the pike here and how they're going to change things. I mean, they
It's,
will.
I think it's changed. Um, and it's really interesting. What happened today? That's something I can't remember. It's changing by the week. Oh, I know what I was on. I was on an NDA call that I can't. That's what happened. It's just like I was like, wow, this is like they've like yeah. Anyways, it's it's quick. It's released quickly, right? And it's quickly coming. Like I don't want to say police, but like very like rules are coming through now very quickly. I think we probably still are in ways. I like to represent myself with reputable companies, so they're being like, well, let's bring this in a little bit and like let's be responsible. Um, I think it's here to stay in a really good way because of the mundane tasks. And if you're, let's just maybe go to the business side really quickly. Like you could probably have less overhead. You could, do faster tasks, more efficiency. I'm always focused on efficiency. I don't know if that's like a full like millennial thing that's embedded into my DNA, but it's like it's just let's get to the creating faster. And I'm at a balance right now that I'm trying to lead our teams of like how much can we all take on and not swamp ourselves, whereas hire more people and be more efficient and scale the business basically. It's that fine line because it's just coming back to those grinding days of starting your entrepreneurial journey for me at least where you're just like you're doing everything because it's easier, right? But I think the mundane tasks are hopefully behind us. I haven't like scrubbed everything out of my ecosystem with that yet, um, and just trying to think of like yeah, just it's more efficiency. Yeah, what do you think? Yeah, what's your
I mean, I won't bore everybody with my thing. I am cautiously optimistic about it. I'm looking forward to a day when it can replace those mundane tasks. It can fix the things that weren't able to be fixed on screen or on set, I mean. And it does it with ease. I have a project right now I'm working on for somebody where they want things in the background removed, and it's like, okay, well, first of all, we should have done that on set, but the person wasn't there to say remove them. We thought, we were set dressing, and come to find out that they don't like our set dressing. And so, and yeah, being able to go in and just like highlight items in the background and say remove, please, it would be phenomenal. And using AI to do that kind of stuff. I get a little nervous when I see it replacing, when I see things that will, this technology will edit your video. Okay, well, that's kind of scary. Um, and I think too with just doing things, like typing up. I'm typing up a proposal for a client, before I came up here to do this downstairs, and I like writing. I've always loved writing, and so writing it all out. But seeing a button when I'm all done at the bottom that says, do you want a co-pilot to, reword this for you? You know, it just becomes a little frightening in that regard of like this is just going to start doing the work and people are going to start getting lazy, you know
that's
and that's what I worry about is when if you've ever seen that movie, what was the Wall-E, where, they get to the ship and humanity has become just these big blobs of people that float around all day because we had machines that
Yeah.
do everything for us. That's the kind of thing that I fear. So, but
It's like taking, I think my last thought on this too is like, if everybody's going to go lazy, then that will just make my positioning and navigation much easier in that sense. Cause I think I have this like, the work ethic
yeah,
installed in me. Um, and I don't want to say it's just these words I just have now. It's like faster, better, stronger, go, go, go. But it's doing it in a responsible way. Like, yeah. And then there absolutely is, if I'm being super truth and honest, it's like you wake up and have a coffee and eat breakfast with the phone scrolling, and you're like, huh, like there is every second Wednesday or every 10 days now, you're like, oh, like it does shake you to the core. Like, okay, like here's the thing, Facebook this last, 3 days ago or this last week, they said they're taking on the advertising agency or the advertising world, with like made up edits or something, or yeah.
yeah,
So I think it comes down to what's really cool is I don't know why I think of it like this too, but maybe an automatic camera versus a manual, shutter speed, ISO, all that, all the tools, I guess, all the settings. It's like if you can master the manual, you can really drive it forward.
right.
So there's like story structure, there's how you capture it, like yeah,
Yeah.
and it's cool to have all the stuff generated, but maybe your story has to be resonate, or yeah, it's
That's the bottom line. I don't see it replacing artists anytime soon. So,
yeah.
all right. Well, all that said, let's dive in. I know you have. I want to hear about your workflow and see your projects. And by the way, I know Bob had asked how big your company is. Between your two companies, how many people do you have like working for you? And
Right now there's 6 of us.
okay,
Yeah, and then everything else is either remote or contract freelance based. Yeah,
okay,
because it's just like the asks lately have been like you could lock in one podcast and then it's like the main show crew and then all the social cut downs. That's just the clips, then the short form, and it just is like a thumbnail person.
yeah.
So
Real quick before you dive into that, I had another question for you too. Like going through all your work over the last couple days of prepping for this and looking at all your stuff, you know, uh, your stuff is so great. How much of that do you shoot, and how much do you hire out to shoot? Like the still work, the video work. I mean, I know, and then like even with the editing, like how much editing on projects are you actually doing compared to contract work?
it's a dance. I used to be working relentlessly for like overseeing a lot of stuff. What it comes down to is the quality control. And that's the very transactional way of saying it. It's like it has to be like hit. You can see the quality, right? We all know this. When you purchase anything, you're like, oh, the build quality is a little bit different than than whatever
Yeah.
you're buying. Now I basically I'm on hands on deck with whoever's editing. And then also there's projects where I just have the final sign off. Like it has to go through my hands to be like, check. There's been times lately too where I'm like, hey, editors, set it up. Don't even hit export. Let me comb through the timeline and then I'll hit export. And it could be as simple as like, I don't mean to be a stickler in this way too, but from a H.264 to a 422, like it's, color codecs or something too. Like the asks are so random sometimes that you can't even quantify it, like, so it's,
That is not a stickler. That is very important.
yeah, thank you. It's because sometimes people like, I just put it to web, like send it off. And it's like, if we're going to go this far, it's funny. It's the same I think of as like a focus puller, right? You got to get the right, if it's not in focus, you ruin the whole film. Everything
Right.
is gone, right? Until AI comes in. Just kidding. But it's the same, and it comes down to the thumbnail too. Like if the conversation now online, at least for some of the work that we do, a division is like if the thumbnail and then the title isn't right, people aren't going to click into the video, and then the results won't show, and they won't call you back in that sense. So it's like very particular in ways, and I think what we've built with I think what we've built, what I know we've built, is a very it's a like a white glove approach, and it's the attention to detail. So it's
Yeah.
yeah. If that answered your question, I can't remember now. I
Well,
rambled.
yeah, it was mostly about how much like are you still going out to shoot and do
Filming. The other side of this whole journey is it's funny now to laugh at, but it's like the ego is kind of like pushed off to the side because people can capture way better than I can.
yeah.
Now better equipment, lighter equipment, stuff like that, and photographs. Photographers are like friends now. There's no way that I can capture what I'm. Yeah, you guys can see the screen.
Yeah.
Um, Basically, I've shot none of these photos. Some of them this one I got, the shoe product, billboard is easy. The shoe I lit. So there's some sprinkled in there, but it's the editing space for me is my bread and butter. I think the eye comes in with that. And then with this 4K and 8K, all the resolutions and cameras now, you can kind of punch and crop what you need to a degree.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very, and the other thing is too, within that like 20-year-old, I'm 36 now. So in my 20s, it was very like, no, we could take this on. And then as I obviously grew older, I'm like, let's build this through and have more fun on sets,
Yeah.
and everything too. And then one thing I'll probably forget if I don't say it now is a lot of pre-editing. We do a lot of like pre-visual, like this is what it's going to look like before we go on site. And then basically if I go on set now, it's going to be a super light-hearted, fun time, or it's literally an outright party because we all know what we're after.
Yeah.
So after lunch, here's the iPad. This is exactly what we're getting. Great. Client already signed off on it 2-3 weeks ago. Hopefully there's no questions. We're getting very close to the accuracy of what they want. And then you just, you have a fun time on set.
Nice.
So,
How big are your crews usually?
oof,
Or
geez,
it just
this is,
depends?
it can depend. Honestly, it's been in last, let's mark this, COVID put a blip into everything.
Oh yeah.
Pre-COVID, it was like 50 plus people. Like it was hair and makeup to film LA permits, everything, trucks, all that stuff. And then now, and then we obviously decreased everything just to be a lighter footprint. And then I think the boom of like TikTok and social came in and really disrupted where the quality is like it's secondary, it's more of reach and stuff.
Yeah.
So it just kept lighter. And then now it's growing to like maybe 12 is a good like
Yeah.
it's a good, yeah, we can take care of each other, like, carpool if we need to, and yeah, family approach. Because
Bob,
the 50 plus people, I'm sure everyone, you guys have been on. Yeah. How big are your crews?
oh, he's asking how big are Bob's asking like what's your average budget size or normal budget size?
I'm so all over the map. It could honestly anything. We've done millions to hundreds of thousands to like just, 5 figures. Um, it really depends what they want. If it's, and then where it's going, is it like Super Bowl? Is it, I don't know, the latest shoe campaign, or yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty crazy. Yeah.
That one's always a hard one because yeah, people ask me that like, what's it cost to make a video? It's like, ugh, I can't. That's
What do you need? Yeah.
yeah,
Like this,
like buying a car. It's like there's so many different components. Do you want reclining seats? Like you want, do you want heated seats? Do you want, sunroof, moonroof? It's like, there's all these things that sort of go into it. It's not just a flat fee.
this one was like, I just clicked on it, but it's like, you have the slow motion camera, you got photographers rolling. And if you have all these influencer and talent and athlete, whoever they are, you systematize it. You put studios next to the video studio, the photo studios next to the video. You build all this because none of this is there, right? Then you have the high speed camera. You have the robot arm. Like it just keeps adding up, right? So and
How
then photo
last question.
campaign like keeps going. Social campaigns, newsletters, like yeah. So
Last thing before, and I want you to dive into Premiere because that's what we want to see. But
we're here,
like,
yeah.
how much of the producing side of it do you like doing? Because I mean, I can say as somebody who runs a production company, I love to shoot, I love to edit, I love all that creative stuff. I mean, right now I sit upstairs here in my edit loft is what I like to call it, but downstairs is where the lobby and and all the businessy stuff happens down. The producing happens downstairs, you know. And I listen, it's a part of the job. You got to do it, but how much of that do you? Because just watching what you just showed us, getting all that organized, putting it all together is a job in itself. I mean, that's
Yeah.
a producing job. How much of that do you like that, or would you rather just give me a camera, just give me Premiere. I just want to make stuff.
I've learned to love it. I kind of like it all, to be honest. It's kind of weird. Yeah. Thanks for asking. I what I do like is there's two things now. It's working with really great people. Three things maybe: enjoying it the whole time together, and then being very prepared. I think it's something instilled in me back. I think it was my mom, a teacher. Work ethic. Always do your homework before you go play. That my whole thing. And thank you, mom. It's like it's instilled in me. And then my dad is also like the fun one, so it's kind of like I have the two worlds of that. But it's always preparedness. So I do love the producing side because it's like, great, we're here for 3 days. We're ending at 8 because there's a hard out. Sun is going down, film LA permits or whatever you want, or airplane flights. Like we know where we're getting, right? So I like that, yeah. And
Yeah.
there's like a leash on like, well, we only have this much for craft services, and like, and then the negotiation side of it too. It's like, bringing up to the client, being like, well, would you be opposed to having an extra half day or fighting for the crew where it's like you can't have a half day because everyone commutes in from LA and it's not, taking care of people is the big one. And then that follows through to the end client of like just being clear is, yeah. I never touched all the Excel documents. That's where I leaned on my wife. She's amazing, still do. She loves that. It's like she's like, I love it. So
Yeah.
but trust, it was such a time. I don't know if it was a chapter. It's just pulling myself away from like, not okay, we have our camera. It was a red camera. We still have it. It's the Dragon 6K, and not getting so like, oh, got to get this camera or this wooden camera accessory, this, this lens.
Right, yeah.
It was me trying to pull back from that. Yeah. Anyway, but
Yeah. All right. Bob had one question about a piece of gear. What piece of equipment have you found that you can no longer live without?
oof. Number one right now is the cell phone, and I can't believe I'm saying that. um, I've been on site for some recap videos in the last like 2 weeks, and there was 3 times I've walked up to set with a cell phone, and I parked the car, and I'm like, did I pack anything? Because I'm used to like cases, like it was a fleet, right? Like I rep with Innovative Carts. I'm not sure if everyone's familiar, but they're amazing
Oh yeah.
workstations. So it's like I got innovative stuff to build up, monitors, all this stuff, and then I'm walking on site with just a phone, and then literally recording a voiceover for some other stuff too. And I'm just like, the power of this thing is insane.
Yeah.
I even whipped together, because I love this, Project Violet on with Adobe. The other day, their like client asked like, hey, can you like share some Instagram stories for us to post and whatever? And I was like, well, why don't I just whip you up and edit really quickly? So if the phone can record video, audio, voiceover, and as well as photos there as well, but then edit, I'm like, this is amazing. So
Yeah, I kind of second that, in that it's become a lot more. I mean, I use it on Location Scouts, obviously, to get pictures.
yes,
I can use my Sunseeker app to find out where the sun's going to be, to plan out shots and time of day to shoot everything. I have a color meter that I use with the phone, where I just hold up the little thing and then it tells me what the color temp is in the room, and then yeah, I can use it as a viewfinder, directory viewfinder if I don't have mine handy. Yeah, and then yeah, I edit together stuff. I've put together like little quick things for clients in Rush, because I'm on Android. We don't have Project Violet yet,
you don't have
Adobe.
it, no.
So yeah, no, I'm on them about it. But anyway, so yeah, no, it has become a very indispensable tool. So okay,
Yeah.
let's dive into Premiere, because I want to see how you work on stuff. So what have you got here?
I have an NDA safe project. A lot of the stuff we sign is under wraps because it's unreleased product and whatnot too. So my good friends at Aventon. They're a bike amazing company. Can I mute maybe all this then? Let's do that so we can all not hear my voiceover. They we do a partnership. The other side of my business, it leading with curiosity is this creator thing coming up. Where is it here? Let's see. So this is all, as much as I am behind the camera, I'm in front of the camera as well. So I partner with brands to promote anything that's awesome, basically, that I actually use and I'm like an advocate for. So a lot of Adobe, some life happening events, coffee companies, all that fun stuff, tech and all that stuff. So this electric bike company is called Aventon. This is one of them. They commissioned me, or what's the word? I don't know. They hired me to do some videos as a creator. So here I am in front of the camera with voiceover as well. And this is a safe space because it's just this is everything Chris, right? Whereas the other ones are like teams. We all know how that works, right? Cooks in the kitchen and all. Yeah. So
Yep.
What would you like to know here? Let's start with that.
Well, let's just start from the beginning. So they commissioned you to put together this video. So let's talk about, let's start at the beginning. So obviously you shot this 9x16. So was this shot on a phone? Was it shot on
This one's shot on a phone? Yeah. Nothing here is with the red that I filmed. No. So basically at the top is I get clear on the contract. What do they need? And then it just gets even more a little bit like it branches out. It's like, is it an Instagram story? Is it a post? Is it a reel? Is it a carousel? Like, let's get specific on where this is living. Is it whitelisted? How long can they basically have a license for it? 30 days, 6 months, a year, etc. So they can put money behind it. The very good benefit of who I am is I come with all of this experience as well as being in front of camera. I'm just excited about things in life. And if I can whip together a video and know what to do, the notes lately for these videos have been very minimal. Like, oh, change this one logo and then that's it. Because of my decades and like thousands of hours of experience with capturing. Let's say, for instance, there's little things that probably no one would notice. If I'm wearing a shirt, I can wear my clothing because it's my company. I have fair share in that. But if I have a giant Under Armour logo or something like that, you can't use it. We've been down that road many times early in our careers that you don't have to go back to the client and say, we have to reshoot or something. So I'm not only looking at all of my videos, which is why my new upgraded title is video strategist. It's because everything is there for it to win. That's basically it. Delivery on camera, your enthusiasm, kind of drives me in a funny way where people like executives come on and be like, I'm very excited today to share this launch with you. And it's like, you should speak it, like show it. Like, I'm so excited today, enunciate in words and all that fun stuff. So that comes in with all the video capture as well. So it does these projects are more so about the story and the reach rather than the technical aspect of cameras. Yeah.
Okay. And can you show us the video?
Yeah. Here, you know what? I'll show you this one. This one's pretty fun because there's a mix of cameras and all that.
Okay.
You can hear audio?
Oh, you know what? I think you need to share and turn audio on because we can't hear the audio right now. So reshare your screen.
Stop shot running.
And then
to share audio, share a tab instead.
Oh, you should be able to just share Premiere, and then it should say like share system audio or something like that.
How's that?
Nothing? No, still not hearing it.
You know what I'll do is I'll go to Frame.io really quickly.
You got your earbuds in. That's probably it.
Here, let's do Frame.io real quick. So did that answer your question in a way?
Yes.
It's nice to get clarity, though. I mean, even just 9/16 versus 16:9 or whatever it's going to be, the amount of times people shoot things 16:9 and go, oh, you can just turn this into everything, right? And like, yeah, but it's not going to look good. And you end up, but can't you expand it? No, I can't do that. That's not physically possible.
Sure it is. Why not? No. Just like, okay, here we go.
The generative, yeah, they have the new generative edge fill thing. No, thank you, not yet.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Hold up 70 miles on a
Does it work?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go.
Hold up 70 miles on a single charge? Get out of town. The Pace 4 isn't just fast, it's flexing on the whole category. A motor with a 500-watt base. The Pace 4 is Class 2 certified and made to fly. But here's the best part. It's smooth, it's silent, and it won't die at mile 30. Yep, a single charge, 70 miles. 864-watt peak. Wireless 4G and GPS for you to track it anywhere. Theft deterrence brings built-in peace of mind. Payload that can handle up to 300 pounds with speed. Class 2 legal and ready to roll. You're getting power, range, and smarts all in one slick ride. I used to think electric rides were all the same. Then I tried the Pace 4. Now my car's jealous, and honestly, I don't blame it. Where's the first place you'd ride it? Drop it in the comments below. Or tag a friend who needs an upgrade. Later!
There she be.
Nice. Okay, so a couple questions I have for you. Then, we can kind of dive back into Premiere a little bit. But like, so did you have a script that you had to memorize?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's it's a unique, obvious case point here because I am on camera. Yeah. And then this is funny too. I just do things now, so I don't even think of sometimes the system. But I reenact a lot of like the pre-visual for the bigger clients as well. So when I'm on site, I'm like, no, it's it's pronounced like this. It's, it's electric at this point. And then just throw some hand gestures into if that makes sense too. So I use a lot of just me for pre-visual. I should actually release those into the world because it's pretty funny. Do a side-by-side from like, I don't know, Francis, this giant UFC box fighter to me, stuff like that. But yeah, because it's yeah.
Do you have that all storyboarded out too before you go out and shoot it?
Storyboard, script, and then for this one, it's kind of like I get the gist of it. I have a script, absolutely, because it helps with all the way to the captions at the end. It helps, on site being like, wait, what was I thinking? Again, I do all the clarity like at the start of the project. Even for me, I'm like, if I'm going to go to the streets today and have my limited time of everything here, you're dealing with traffic, business hours, like billable hours. You just want to get things done and efficient. And yeah, so the script is number one.
And I mean, the one thing I noticed about that video that I've noticed about a lot of videos nowadays is that it feels, I don't want to use the word organic, but that's because that's what I hear a lot. But it's like, and please don't take this the wrong way.
I won't. You will not offend me.
It doesn't feel polished. It feels very homemade. And I have heard this from a lot of folks that when you're going to social, that having things that look too slick, too well produced is almost a strike against you. That you want something like this that feels very made, like self-made almost.
Yeah.
But it's, from everything that you're saying, there's a ton of thought that went into this. But you're making it look like you just went out one day and filmed yourself riding around and you're talking about how great this electric bike is. And it's really not that. I mean, this is all thoughtfully put together.
I can get really nitty gritty into it. It just depends how far you guys want to dive into together. But the other thing is what I was trying to, this is the thing. I'm trying to consistently scrub everything I've learned out of my brain. It's really like counterintuitive. For instance, like I came from film school, I came from my headspace to make everything so polished and like jib arms and floating and like gimbals and make it beautifully polished. And it serves people today. Absolutely. There's an ask for that, but you have to be able to adapt from the polish to making it look like it's a kind of a homemade mom and pop video. If I don't know, more scrappy. I wouldn't say mom and pop because I love that small business feel. That's who I am. But yeah, does that make sense? Like it is crafted in a weird, different way. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it's style like anything. It's like
Yeah.
and it's kind of an esoteric pull, but like Tim and Eric, the Tim and Eric show. I don't know if you ever seen that one.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Many of these shows that like are intentionally trying to be public access esque, and it's obviously not. It's actually a very polished, very
Yeah.
crafted thing, but it's looking to be a style.
Some clients get that, some don't, and then you have to explain it, and then they finally do get it. But it's the reach at the end of the day. It's the engagement.
Yeah.
Would someone convert to buy the bike? I would. So, I mean, I did. So, um,
Was this,
yeah.
I mean, was this a client that found you, or did you buy, because you said you own the bike. So did you buy the bike and then say, hey, you know what? I should be doing their stuff, and then reach out to them?
Through friends, it's the other thing. Where's the best way to say this too? It's people level up and move on as well. Like they obviously get different jobs and all that too. So if you start at one company, that can explode and like disperse is a better way to say that. So this was just a friend that I met through another shoe company way back in the day, and then yeah, they said, Chris, do you want to come do this? Yeah. So
Cool.
it's been weird. Like I have, again, to be super wide open on everything. It's like there was so many projects on our website that we purchased the product and we we purchased the project and then we got brought in because they saw your excitement. Other people approached us. Other people, like word of mouth is a big one as well. So it's kind of everywhere again. Yeah. It's just staying wide open is but
Yeah.
bringing it together when you need it.
Well, I mean, listen, I mean, I partly asked that too because I mean, for a lot of folks who, who run production companies, trying to get clients, trying to find work. I mean, especially now, things are tougher. And I get asked a lot, like, how did you get started? How did you find clients? How do you find clients now? And there's
Yeah.
no, everybody has their own sort of way of doing it. There's no like, do X and then you get a client. It doesn't always, it's not that way. I mean, sometimes the cold calling works, but not all the time. There's always these weird kind of roundabout ways. Sometimes it's networking through friends and through other people. Sometimes it's you buy a product and now you can post a video about it that goes viral and then somebody reaches out to you or whatever. I mean, so that's why I'm kind of interested in that. It's just, because I think a lot of people, for them, that's helpful to them to sort of like, oh, I have to think a little bit out of the box, about how to land these clients and how to find that work, as opposed to just thinking, well, these big brands, they'll never call me because who am I? It's like, well, you have to kind of put yourself out there and think differently in how to reach them so that they will want to hire you and then be ready when they do call you.
Yeah. And
So,
then unbreaking I'm again I think the other way where it's actually the best time to be in the video space. Like I was really laugh because I was like, I don't want to break my son's birthday's coming up and we got him an iPad. I was like, if he's going to be watching, but he's like 5 years old. So anyways, dad brain for all the parents out there. Just yeah.
yeah.
Um, but basically, my son is watching YouTube. Let's just like a lot religiously, right? And he's 5 years old, and he has a screen that I never had at his age. And these screens, no matter how big it is, again, maybe it's an ego thing, or maybe it's scrubbing the thing out of your head. This screen can be tilted, horizontal, or whatever. Get Netflix on HBO Max, whatever you want on here too. There's more screens than ever and more accessible. If I go, yeah, on the airplane the other day, one of the planes I didn't have the screen, but the other ones that had the screen, there was ads before taking off. There's ads, like, we all know this, but take notice of how many screens that you pass by per day. Even at the gas station, some pumps have, screens. So it's, as media creators, whether you're a filmmaker, et cetera, too, there's a connection there, and there's more screens and an abundance of it. And social media actually helps us because every little business, including mom and pop pizza shop down, there's one in Phoenix that popped up where I'm actually want to get in my car from LA and drive over there because I'm like, this pizza looks amazing. And that's because of the media they created. And if it's through a cell phone or whatnot too, like as video editors in this conversation for video editing, it's like, it's how you piece it together is a big pivot, because that's where all the magic happens. I can skim through this video here, and it's not the best captured, I guess, too, but there's a GoPro Max, there's a cell phone, there's a DJI mic, and I have a like $1,200 Sennheiser mic set, but I use my $200 DJI microphone more. And it's like, it's a different space of thinking.
To get into the edit there, I mean, can you kind of talk about how you built that out? Like, what are your favorite, tricks and tips and things that you like to go to when you're putting something together? Like, what are your usual styles, and what do you look for when you start building something together like this?
Love it. This is the sweet spot. I don't really have it's a funny way of saying this, I guess. Everything is like handmade, if you will, like authentically made. I don't have a repeated system. The only systems I do have is actually here, I'll share with you. Everything that is in for the most part, everything that is in my Finder window on my like hard drive here, or my desktop, wherever this is. This one's on Dropbox, but this mimics everything as well as into my Premiere Pro. So this is as systematized as I get. Footage, very like, I have 6 videos with this one company right now, for the month or for the year of 2025. Audio is all in there, documents, whatever, like elements and all that stuff. So this is as systematized as I get for all the backend stuff. For a video like this, when it comes with our bigger companies and agencies that we work with over there at Chrilleks land, it's a little bit bigger and more built out. There's a lot more systems involved. However, for a little video like this kind of making like these creator videos, the first, I would say 10 seconds has to be like a hook and engaging. We all know this for that attention grabbing era that we're living in. You need to make it like to pull the people in. So that could be done in trillions of ways. That could be a fail. That could be a funny like joke, a blooper, anything of that nature. But basically my first go-to is kind of like, I guess, a movie. I'm not really traditionally trained on like a film aspect of it. But it's establishing shot. Like, what are we talking about? This guy's excited. There's a product in there, but I kind of want to see it, but it's kind of hidden. I don't like, what's happening type feel. The other thing is there's some stuff in here too, that for branding side, it's like, if we're going to ride this bicycle, we have to wear a helmet. And this whole video could have been canceled if I'm not wearing a helmet as well. It's stuff like that that's like behind the scenes that no one will ever take into account. So as well as like wearing my own, logo, or I would just wear all black like I typically do. But yeah, it's establishing shot. I'm kind of branching off in everything here as a giant bridge over rainbow, I guess, a rainbow over everything is, did I call out all the feature points in the product? That's probably my second approach, because the clients always come to us and say, well, here, even on the back wall, it's like, I want it black, I want it white, I want it text, I want it eligible. I want a little bit of creative freedom in there, and I want some logos, and that's it. So if those are 5 things, we got to make sure those points are hit. So a little bit of creative product call out, on branding colors. Is it exciting? It's a fun e-bike. It should be exciting, right? And that translates into the product as well.
Well, that's it.
So, yeah.
I was just trying to remember is what we're fighting is this.
Yes.
That's like, It's not like turning on the TV and it's just like, well, I got to wait for the ads till the show comes back. Now we're fighting. Am I interested enough in 6 seconds to not just flick a finger?
Yeah.
My wife and I we're watching Netflix. I haven't turned it on for 6 months, and it's crazy. I'm like, I don't know, I just didn't plan it. We like to do old school things of just talk to each other and like quiet and not be stimulated, I guess, at night just by default. But we turned on a show recently. We're like, okay, we're going to watch this movie or whatever. And 20 minutes into the show, we actually had our cell phones up. And I'm like, there's a reason why we went to our cell phones, because we have more control there than what's happening on the TV. If I don't like it, it's next, right?
Hmm.
I don't know if it's obviously the dopamine or the attention span as well that comes with it, but it's that controllability. So you got to be able to hook them in really quickly for the first 10 seconds, basically without thinking too much into it, because it all comes second nature now. Where this GoPro plugin is not working. It's pretty funny. It's supposed to be on me, but it's not, and then it will crash Premiere Pro if I touch it. So I won't. But and then it's basically telling a story. Like here, this one, you know, I'm building a bike, and the other thing is when I look at edits, this one's very straightforward because of the timeline. Just by looking at the timeline, this one, you know, this is what goes into it for my videos at least. And they keep building too. Actually, I don't know if these ones are. This one's a little. It's technical, but there's a lot more excitement to it. Whereas this, I'm just building the bike, right? So what can I do to make this exciting? Well, I have a story here. It's a voiceover below here in orange, and it's how I tell the story. So it's always, you always got to keep it spicy. I think that's what I'm kind of aiming for. Yeah.
So on that one where you build the bike, so do you, I mean, you have it all scripted out ahead of time. So you're basically going out building the shots, and then the voiceover that you have, is that recorded after the fact, or do you record that while you're there?
Pre.
That
I do it pre because I want to know the timing in my
and
delivery.
that's what I wanted to get to about,
Yeah.
because the shots that you have, I can see the shots are so short that you have to be able to know, like, I need this. This is going to cover this line, and it needs to be this long.
Yeah. It's kind of, I don't have any music experience, but it's the drum and bass first. And then it's the voiceover for me. And then I have the music as well. I always pick the music prior. I do a lot of reverse. And as I get, you know, as I get older in my experience and everything, I kind of look back and analyze it. And I actually find the music first, and I find the voiceover.
Oh
So
yeah.
if I flub a line on site, like this one I did like 5 times on the bike, because I'm trying to remember the line, drive the bike, and be fast, and then the microphone has the wind in it, so it's like, what was I trying to say? Oh, and then I was like, if I don't get it in these 5 takes or 6 or whatever, how like 20, I stopped myself at like 8, being like, dude, you got something, make the edit, make it happen. I can always fall back on that voiceover that I pre-prepped.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, if you got music and VO, you know, oh, now I just got to slap some footage on this. Super easy.
yeah. What's Jeff's? Do you pull out those first 10 seconds for standalone ads? What do you? Yeah.
Jeff, you can come on if you want to ask that.
Yeah. Excuse me. Reason I'm asking, I'm doing social videos at work now, pulling clips out of a podcast. Company I just started with had no social presence, so they had a 1 hour podcast that I've edited and now I'm pulling clips out of. And our web guy is saying he'd like to do some ads. So for, find little quirk, little things, 10-second things, little things that we can just throw up there on YouTube or whatever. So that's why I was asking if that's how you did that, if that's what you were doing with that 10-second hook.
You could, yes, yeah. There's been so many other scenarios back in the day where they want 15-second cut downs as well.
Yeah.
So that's a perfect, like hold up 70 miles on a single charge, and then you could just cut to a logo and then a call to action. Go to this website.
Yeah.
Because
and your VO first is that harkens me back to days of working in the TV newsroom. You would you cut the VO first, and then you go edit the story to match it.
it's yeah. I wonder if a little bit of old fashioned ways of the new ways is like maybe my mix. I don't know. Sometimes I want to know how I create things, and then the other times I'm like, just let the art flow, because a lot of my art, as we all know, gets taken away really quickly. So it's yeah, because clients come in and they're great, they support your dream, but you can't be too attached. You have to be attached, and yeah. Trying to think of what else. Color codes. I think I saw labels was a question in there as well.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that too, because you've got a lot of color going on there. Is there a rhyme or reason to it, or is it just like, this is it?
Sometimes I try to live by it. This Premiere Pro, I love you, Adobe. Sometimes it keeps updating and all my colors get messed up. So I just sometimes leave it. And then also switching between systems. The only thing, the cardinal rule for me is anything that is red, I have to pay attention to. If that's a client note, if that's something that I think, you know, I step away with the kids or whatever, I come back the next day. It's kind of every time I open up a project and I see red, I'm going to remove these because I'm going to open up the project later. Be like, what's wrong with it? Every time I see red in the morning, like let's say I wake up tomorrow morning and I get, this is my first thing with a cup of coffee. I like look at it being like, hey, what do I need to fix? I already know my pain points. And that's typically how I exit projects. Everything else is kind of, this is all mixed up now too, but you know, nested sequences are, adjustment layers are usually pink. Which one's pink now? Oh, I get the spinning wheel of whatever. Okay, I won't touch anything. Adjustment, yeah, it's basically sometimes it's color coded. It's kind of the short answer.
And are you converting? Are you converting everything to like 422 after?
Not much, no. I just leave it.
What system are you working off of?
In terms of
The computer itself.
right now, I have it's crazy. I have a Mac Studio.
Mhm.
That one's maxed out with everything. What game changed me was our BenQ monitors. The color like collaboration on the BenQs I've found like it's amazing. It actually full stops the clients being like, it looks a little washed out. I'm like, check your settings because this is why it's calibrated this way and whatnot. So monitors play a huge role. And then I bring all this up because I have a Mac Studio that's like maxed out. It's amazing. And then I have a MacBook Air that I'm on right now. And the MacBook Air holds up to a lot of the stuff that we work with. And I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah, because I found like, I mean, the H.264, which used to be such a nuisance, you know, it plays real well on most of the newer Macs. The only thing I use, like workflow wise, it's like just my brain still converts everything to 422 because I'm so used to it choking everything. And it is true that like I am working on projects sometimes where like depending on it, sometimes you've got clip on top of clip on top of clip, even if it's just previs like
Yeah.
slapping the effects on a thing before they're done. And then it will choke if there's like 4 or 5 clips running at the same time. But
Yeah.
yeah, but most of this is pretty like shot to shot to shot. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes in, like making it bright, making it loving. LA makes it easy with the backdrop, obviously, going to the proper locations. And then yeah, there's kind of a, and then you get into nitty gritty of like, why is this? I'm on my MacBook Air, that's why. Just chugging through. I cut this amazing viral video like last summer, I think. And it was on my MacBook Air. And I was like, at that moment, I was like, I don't need any of these tools anymore. Like all the expensive, like crazy stuff. Cause it was so funny. Trying to think what else I was saying. Oh, the captions too, eligible. Like, can people read stuff? You know, like, is it, you know, Helvetica is a safe font, nothing crazy. Do you own color? What's.
I think he's asking if you do your own color, like your own color grading.
Oh, sorry, my head is. Yes, Lumetri right now. I'm excited for Adobe. They shared some stuff publicly so we can say that too, that color is like down the roadmap. So that's exciting to like, I'm excited for that because that's probably my least area that I kind of touched upon in my entire career. We always subbed it through or got someone else to retouch or somebody. Yeah. But yeah, coloring is there.
For these 916 videos, are you burning in the captions or are you just supplying an SRT when you upload it?
Just burning, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the receiving end is typically could be a marketing department. It gets handed around. We also do clean versions. there's a whole thing too. It's sometimes with the I was sharing the earlier with the screens, like there's an abundance of screens. It's like the abundance of exports behind all that no one sees.
Yeah.
But to future-proof clients, there's a whole like media structure library type feel. And then on the other end of future-proofing it, we give them all cleans that they can use it for hero footage, evergreen footage, yeah, stuff like that. That I think that builds the obviously the reputation, but that really it builds the relationship for a longer period where they almost don't have to call us back sometimes because they're like, oh, we just got it, it's great. We love Chris and Alex. We're gonna call them back because they did, yeah. So
Yeah, I've
because
found
you,
with doing 9x16, we're putting a bunch of shorts up on YouTube channel, and the web guys said, "Why are you putting in captions?" They put in their own, and the captions they put in that YouTube generates are up at the top of the screen, sometimes over the person's face.
is yeah,
It's very old school, old style. It's
yeah.
like, well, my captions look better, but
That's my thing is as editors, we have the control. And I think that's what I'm kind of wrestling with this AI thing. As much as I'm for AI, I'm like, I want the full control because once it's printed, no one ain't gonna touch it, right? So it's the way I wanted to do it, and I'm the captain of directing of whatever this success is or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, but it's a good point of making. That's what I would do my previous job for social. I would, with captions, without captions, 916, all the different flavors, and I just upload them and say, here they are. Use what
Yeah.
you need.
It's insane. Yeah. To anything to save us work down the line.
Yeah, exactly.
Trying to think of what else. There's a million like things we all know. I love keeping my timelines like I don't know why I have this in note here, but I just don't like using that for whatever reason. I just like it clean.
I'm the same way.
And then I just been doing this lately. It's been great. Throwaway. So anything that's not used is kind of here. Here's all the callouts that were secondary, like pedal assist and throttle. That's not remote locking. It's not that important, but it's so
Yeah, I have a whole bucket, and I use it. I call it as a callback to Fear and Loathing. They call it "Who Said Anything About Slicing You Up," and it's just all the pieces of things that I haven't used, but I'm like, I guess I could use it, but it's just leftovers. We all end up with leftovers. I I assume you probably cleaned your timeline up a bit before you saw us today, or are you keeping them this clean all the time?
that clean. Yeah.
Oof.
My I always arrow back to my parents, and my dad always mentioned he's like, if you're gonna work in your like tool bench, then keep it, keep the area clean.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, pivoting is my life now. Every single hour I'm pivoting. So it's like if I, God forbid, can't show up tomorrow to work, I could be like, just take this project file editor, like go, like help us, and then they're not completely lost. So it's
Yeah.
That's just to say something about that because so no, I joke about this with people all the time, but I am dead serious about this. I tell editors all the time getting started that you need to have a system. I don't care
yeah,
what your system is, but you need to have a system because I think most editors do anyway, but you've got to have some sort of system because first of all to keep your sanity and you can find things and work on projects and know where things are so you don't ever get lost. But the other thing too is if God forbid if something were to happen to me and my wife called Chris and said, hey, Eric died unexpectedly and he has all these clients that are now calling with all these projects he's working on. Chris could come in, turn on my system, and after looking at one or two projects he'd have everything figured out and he could finish them if he needed to because I do the same thing in every single project and it's easy to find things and it just it's all there and it just and it keeps my sanity. The rest of my office is a complete disaster maybe,
Yeah.
but my projects inside Premiere and on the timeline are organized, neat, and everything is exactly where it is because when there's that crunch time, I don't have to think about okay, where's that clip? Or if I move the like, and I have to do this a lot, and Chris, you work from home, so it's not as big of an issue for you, but like I'll start projects here and I'm actually going to be doing this tomorrow because my wife's going out of town. I'm going to start a project here, work on it all day here at the office, and I'm going to go home tomorrow night on my laptop and work. And I'm going to copy the whole project folder over because everything's in a project folder. And when I open it up on the laptop, I need to know that it's all the media is going to be there. Everything is going to connect. And I don't get at home and wait a minute, 5 files are offline because they were saved somewhere else, and now I can't do my work that I need to at home tonight to meet a deadline. No, it's like you got to have all that kind of buttoned down and organized so that, that kind of stuff happens. Anyway,
The I'm actually noticing too, this is a huge one. I'm purchasing less hard drives lately. And I've pivoted everything to the cloud, and it has been an absolute game changer in just my like calm and ability. Lucid Link is the best one, and Dropbox is also the best one. Like those two are both like they're the greatest things. Some like Dropbox, I work off of it no problem. I actually caught myself on a flight last week where I was like, it's funny because Eric just said I work from home, but like my home lately has been like a laptop and like everywhere. So I actually cut one of these bike videos on Project Violet, and then I exported that whole video and then brought it into Premiere and everything. I hope they can like mesh everything, like, because if I can create on the airplane and then just offload it, oh my goodness, like that would be crazy cool. But yeah, pivoting. I know I do have cold storage as well. I purchased drives back in the day, so I have like still room and all that stuff too. So everything, it goes at the end of the day on cold storage. But please, I'm like, try on the cloud space because it is like, it's game changer. It's allowed me to like just edit from a laptop. It's a MacBook Air. Like it's horrible. Like I have 8 gigs on this thing I'm talking to right now, and it's
Dropbox is wonderful.
Yeah. I've talked like 4 companies into putting everything on Lucid.
Yeah.
Because it's so, they have some of them who are like, oh, well, our VFX guys or our graphics guys are actually in India, and we keep having to send drives and I'm like, just put it on Lucid. It's fine. Yeah. Just boom, there it is, updated instantly.
And you have a client that's using SharePoint, run away. Stupid.
Thank you.
We lost that argument at work. My colleague and I, the video guys, wanted Dropbox and had Dropbox, and new IT people came in and were going everything Microsoft, and they tried to make us use SharePoint. And anyway, can I ask a question? You're talking about keeping projects organized, and I work in corporate video, so, and I'm, where I worked before, and now it's just me, so it doesn't matter as much. But we did have a system of organizing our projects. We had certain folders, certain structure that we used for all our projects, and then we had to archive it up to SharePoint, OneDrive, whatever. And to do that, because of limitations and stuff, we would have to zip things, but we would use Project Manager, or that horrid piece of crap that Adobe put in that dumps everything into one single folder.
I mean, Project Mangler.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes. Yeah.
Mangler. It's
never always fun. This. It's always fun when you're collaborating with someone, and yeah. Anyway, I won't get into that. I've beat that drum before. Eric, yell at those people at Adobe. Tell them to fix that stupid piece of crap, so we can archive our. Do you guys just take your whole project and just upload it?
Just the cold storage, yeah.
The folder, just take the folders as is. Okay.
The entire folder. It's basically the backbone is through Finder. We're all Mac, so we just take the folder structure, yeah. And that's kind of it. It's so simple. We've kept it very simple. What you see, where's my Finder here? This is basically it. Yeah, you have the project folder, and then it's everything from Premiere to After Effects.
And if you have assets that go across multiple projects, say logos or something like that, do you just repeat it and just repeat that into every project?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If we sign a retainer, then we know it's basically like this one's a perfect example. Here's you got episode episode. They're all little mini videos. So yeah, 0, 1 to 6 we have with them right now for this year. So I know Eventon, yeah. So we have 6 videos with them so far, and then that is just one elements folder. So there's obviously all the like whatever logos are somewhere in there. But yeah.
So how are you dealing with clients? Because I've run into this one before. Um, you're writing into your in terms of data storage after the fact, you're writing that into your contracts of like what
Yeah.
you do and don't hang on to, what you're responsible for versus what they're responsible for.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
We do. There's a million different ways. We used to hold a lot of it, and it becomes more of a pain. I hold on to some stuff because it's like, wow, we shot this out of helicopters over the Hollywood sign. It's amazing. Let's keep it, right? For whatever sake, not for personal, but just it's a life goal, right? Be like, this is so cool. We can put on little shuttle drives for them. We can email them a download transfer. I've in a funny, hilarious, open way. I think 90% of the time we send it over to them, they lose it and they don't care. And then they call us back. Well, hey, where's that hard drive with whatever? Like, we have a copy. Like,
yeah, it's like more a
matter we do.
Who's responsible for it. Because like I usually will hang on to a drive when I'm done with something. And I mean, back when you used to just get the G drives for every in the mail gig, or if you were going to the office, had it at home or something. But I ran into one where client reached out to me like 7-8 months after the project was done and was like, hey, we want to do something new with that. I said, sure, that's fine. I'd asked them when we were doing it, like, I can send you this. Do you want me to send you a copy? They're like, oh, no, don't worry about it. And then I plug in the drive and it gets going and the drive died. And it's one of those things that happens. And we were able to get it back, but they were freaking out at me like, you can't believe you lost it. I'm like, I specifically told you I'm not responsible for it once the job's done. But the glacial storage on AWS I've found to be, for some clients, I've just ended up putting things in there because it's actually quite cheap. And if it's a big enough client, I'm like willing to eat the $6 a month, or even depending on how big it is, $6 a year, to just be like, okay, I am your guy that can take care of this for you no matter what. Just by putting it there. But it is an inch, because the hot storage on Lucid is obviously so much more expensive. Not prohibitively, but yeah.
It does add up. You got to watch. It's a business, and then it's as much fun as everything is, and you got to be able to like. I'm kind of like, I'm trying to check a bunch of boxes all off at once, like selfish reasons I'll just give that one last, but it's like, is this a reputable client that we can build on? Is it, going to be a great portfolio piece? Is it giving back? Is it for a good cause? And then my last selfish one there was like, is it going to fulfill me to be excited to go, like, jump out of bed? I think I've done enough fun stuff in my life that it has to be more purposeful now, and has to be like explosive in my like electricity. Like, I want to jump out of bed and be like, this is great. And yeah, the stakes have just gone higher in that way, because I've turned down a lot of stuff too, where it's, just doesn't fit values or whatever too. And you're human. You want to take as much good work as possible as well. And then you don't want to burn yourself out. There's other that, as we all know.
Yeah.
So if AI can hurry that up, then not be too far to take all of our jobs. But yeah.
Just because I know we're getting kind of close to the stop time here, I'm gonna hit you with something, and no pressure. But since we are talking about Premiere, and every editor has their like favorite little things, like, what are 3 things in Premiere? And you don't have to come up with 3, but like, if there was 3 things where I would say like, hey dude, what are 3 things in Premiere that you love that probably a lot of other editors might not know about, might not use, or like maybe it's a workflow tip, or it's some little thing inside Premiere that not a lot of guys use. like I always point out the pin to clip feature that see
What's that one? Hold up. Wait, what?
see that's it. This is the thing.
Pin
Okay,
to clip.
pin to clip. So like select a clip on your timeline there. Just select a clip. No, it's not there. I'll just show you.
Okay.
Okay, so select a clip, not an adjustment layer.
Okay. You should know my editing experience. I have like cut and paste and that's it.
All right, so now once you selected a clip, go to your effects controls, your ECP, not your
Where is it?
effects, your ECP.
Okay, here we go.
All right, now click on the little hamburger menu up there for effects controls, the little, three thing. And this is
Where?
perfect because you have keyframes. So where it says effects controls, you got the three little lines.
Oh yeah. What?
So pin to clip, turn that off. Now look down in the bottom of your effects to see where your keyframes are. Normally you can't see beyond those keyframes, right? But now you've got that bar, now you can.
Oh.
God, you just changed my life.
Okay.
Oh,
Hold up so I can see.
So like if you need to adjust those keyframes at all, you can now see beyond, in front of them, behind them, whatever, and move them beyond the cut points.
oh, that's so useful. Thank
I
you.
like that.
Now, and then if you want to go back because you don't want to, just turn pin to clip back on, and boom, now you're
So
just
bam.
yeah.
I already lost it.
You go to the
Oh,
little hand
bam.
right there, pin to
Okay.
clip. You
Here we
got to turn
go.
it back on.
Bam. Bam.
So turn that back on, and now you'll see. Now you can't see beyond the keyframes.
I almost want to make that a shortcut.
Yeah, I don't know that there is one.
Come on,
So
Adobe. Adobe. There's always something we have.
there might be. I don't know.
We love you guys.
Anyway, that's the one I always show because for some reason editors don't seem to know about it, and
Nope.
like we just had. It's like this because yeah, we've all been there where you want to reach beyond and move those keyframes, and that seems so. In that vein, do you have it like one or two or maybe three at the most things that you do all the time that most editors might not know about, or you think like, oh yeah, dude, this thing is key and nobody seems to use it except me.
I want to joke. You said three things. It's like Apple save, export, and quit. Okay, jokes aside. I like color codes. It's so simple, but like honestly, my editing is like this is like other my favorite wherever the playhead is, I have a X and it's Z, I think is my no, yeah, Z is that. I never use that one. And then A. Yeah, it's X and A, muscle memory, and it just cuts where the playhead is. And this is like I can cut so much quicker this way. And then I do like to have my hands going like left and right on the keyboard. It just makes me in a flow state. So I don't really mind, losing those seconds in between, if that makes, yeah.
So those are just keyboard shortcuts that you've created.
Yes, yeah. Gotta stop uploading. I'm uploading to the cloud as we're streaming. And then my it's obviously efficiency, but it's easily grabbable. So like I just right click a lot of stuff in Premiere to like make it your own.
Mm-hmm.
Save preset or whatnot too, stuff like that. Little things that I made for, is it in Elements here? Yeah, like I made a text file that I could just like click and drag on stuff. That's not going to work because it's a caption or whatever. I don't know, but it's like the Helvetica that I use and all that stuff. Yeah.
So it's basically like a pre-made text file that has, that you can just drop down and then start adjusting.
Yes. Yeah. Anything that I can systematize in that way. It's really basic.
No, presets are key. Like I don't know a lot of users who do that, who create their own presets, and then like I have a bunch of presets, both that I've made and that I've gotten from other people. That other people have uploaded stuff. And yeah, it's like, those things are just, lifesavers sometimes, or time savers, and you just drop them on and boom, it's like, all right, I'm there, I'm ready to go, and I've got it formatted how I like, and
they're just presets for very basic things too, like I have a motion array subscription too, and so I end up pulling a lot of presets from there. But there's just like the most basic of ones of like splitting up the frame.
Hmm.
Like, but it's like it's broken down by like two videos, three videos, four videos, upper right, upper left, that, and it's like these are obviously things that I can do, but if I had to do them by hand, they're going to take me, even if they take me 3 minutes to do, it's a lot quicker to just drag and drop something
Yeah.
in,
Yeah.
and then I can just adjust it accordingly. It's like any moment. My philosophy on it is that like for every bit of technical time I can save is another bit of creative time.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's everything that seems like, oh, it only takes 30 seconds. Yeah, but 30 seconds done over 50 times a day ends up adding up.
Yeah.
I also had this at one point. It was amazing. My workspaces, I had them on shortcuts, so I just would jump back to like color real quick. I went to vertical space real quick,
Oh,
like
yeah.
things like this that help, like vertical. Sometimes I hit it like this, but then again, what I continue like, I love you, Adobe. You're amazing. I always have to reframe the workspace, and those seconds are taken away again.
Yeah.
So, but sometimes I do this on my laptop, smaller screen. I have a 27-inch. I'm looking off here. That's why. But stuff like that. It's miniature. And then one of the things, I don't know if this is like a funny trauma, but I've had systems go down where, and it's the same as like my mouse and all that stuff. I just use a magic mouse because if I was in the like Colorado once in the backcountry in that sense too, and I had to like run to a local computer store and I had to grab like a new mouse because I couldn't edit. I can't edit on a trackpad. There's no way. So if my systems ever go down, I can easily just go back to like any sort of computer store for like physical hardware. But I can also just like open up a Premiere Pro project in a hotel lobby if I have to. And it's all there. So I don't want to get attached to too many things that I'm like, I'm just ill-equipped, like unequipped, So it's a lot of it's just kind of there. Yeah. That it just don't touch and just be creative in what you got. So,
There you go. I think that's a
but
good thing to end on right there. I did want to ask you real quick, just because you and I both were at Max and we both got the Logitech, was it the MX controller? Are you using that?
I am, yeah. I actually rely on it quite a lot without Premiere right now. And the only reason is because I just don't have time to like have that learning curve.
Right.
But the moment I'm done a video, it's crazy. I have my email, Frame.io, Dropbox folder ready to go. So I know where the files are, boom, in Dropbox. I have my email popped up and I have Frame.io and it's 3 buttons.
Hmm.
So it's like I actually don't even know. It's funny too. It's everything's I'm trying to think of exports. I actually don't even know my Frame.io login because it just goes right to that main account.
That's
Um,
awesome.
and then it's the same thing as with the Premiere Pro project. A funny way of saying it is like I don't think I've actually went to Premiere Pro file new project because I have a template folder with everything already coded in.
Oh, okay.
So it's like client name, Chris, the date. So I know who edited it basically.
Yeah.
And then I haven't opened up Premiere Pro for like, new project file in a way because it's all systematized. And then everything else, it's very systematized when all the brands that I shared, the companies that we run, everything is like by the book. It's like editor name, date. Because in it, you asked me like what we cut, in January. I'm like, well, who cut what? Like, so first name,
That
last name, dates, all line up.
it's I've grown to love that tool. It's just become such a lifesaver for me. And so,
What's your favorite
oh,
aspect to use it? Yeah.
so for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, it's the Logitech, what is it, the MX is what it's called?
Console, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
console. And it's got a jog shuttle wheel, and then it's got a little keypad. And then on the keypad, you can assign shortcuts to it. And so, yeah, like I'll use it for edit points. So I'll go down a timeline and just, jog shuttle down and then hit hit edit on the keypad, and boom, it makes my edit. And then I'll just go down further, hit edit again. I'll mark in and out points when I'm doing text-based editing with it. And then, I can use it. I have it set up for enabling and disabling clips when I'm doing like multicam stuff. I can just click on it, click disable. No more right-clicking, enable clip, whatever. Just click on it,
Yeah.
disable, whatever. It's like, yeah, I've got it dialed in, and it's
What
right
what
there.
is it? What is it called?
It's
Logic.
that right there. It's a Logitech MX Creative Console.
Looking at it, I'm having flashbacks to editing on tape.
Yeah, it kind of gives you that. But yeah, and then it's such a powerful little tool. I'll do a meeting on it sometime, and maybe when next time we do an in-person meeting, we can kind of talk about it because I think it's something that you kind of have to see what I'm doing while we're doing it. But yeah, it's really changed, how fast I can work.
I
Um,
had the scribble wheel. What's the wheel? And then I had the cut on playhead on the bottom left.
oh,
And I
nice.
remember just being like, bam, bam, bam.
Yeah,
But I just, I think I was under a deadline and I just was like, I'll get to this. And then it's been months
yeah.
of.
It's a great tool. I can't really recommend it enough. So
The other stuff here to promote real quick is some of the companies I'm associated with. LucidLink, an amazing company. If you go to my website, goodies, top left here, innovative workstations, these have been a dream. You literally roll up on site and you dress for the job that you want, and as well as unloading and loading everything. It's amazing. It's one time I tried it at a friend's. This was like years ago. I'm close friends with all of them as well, but it's changed the entire game. And Lucid Link, for those who have not seen it, it's incredible. It's you just upload a file and instantly the person on the other end gets it, no matter where they are. And then of course BenQ. BenQ is where it's at. So
yeah, I need to look into their monitors because we were talking about that on the Odyssey chat.
Yep.
And so yeah, I need to look into those things. So
yeah,
all right, everybody. Well, Chris, I can't thank you enough, man. That
thank you guys.
was awesome. I can't thank you enough, dude. Oh yeah, thanks, Jeff, for posting that up. Yeah, we talked about that at the beginning. But yeah, for anybody in San Diego, for the Moviola screening, there's the code to get in. But yeah, Chris, you're the man, dude.
Thank
I
you. You
love
guys are the man.
hanging out with you, and I think you're just insanely talented and just a
Thank
cool
you.
guy. And your wife's pretty cool too. So that's like the power couple thing going there.
She's
But
dope. Yeah.
but yeah, thank you so much for taking your time out to present with us tonight and sharing your wisdom and your insights. For everybody, we'll post this up on YouTube, and it should be up on the YouTube channel probably tomorrow or the next day, depending upon when I get around to cutting it. But yeah, I'll have it up as quick as I can. And yeah, dude, I can't thank you enough. And yeah, we'll see everybody next month.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me. Great to meet all y'all.